During the pre-dawn hours of Wednesday, heavily armed mercenaries made their way to the private residence of Haiti's President Jovenel Moise, fatally shooting him and seriously injuring his wife. The suspected foreign assassins then departed under the cover of darkness. Haiti has been on the brink of anarchy, with violence dominating life, particularly in the capital Port-au-Prince and other towns, leading to large groups of urban residents fleeing to other more peaceful rural communities. Jovenel Moise came to power in 2017 at another turbulent point in Haiti's history and was seen as a potential stabilizer by some. But a series of events, among them the tightening of the U.S. embargo against Venezuela, which resulted in the Petro-Caribe arrangement coming to a premature end, caused increased hardship and further destabilization in an already impoverished Caribbean nation plagued by political instability. CARICOM's former ambassador to Haiti, Earl Huntley, says the assassination of President Jovenel Moise marks a significant escalation in the violence and disruption.
This assassination marks a dramatic increase in the insecurity which had been gripping the country recently. Only last week, the country witnessed the murder of two young journalists, one of them a female who had been an activist organizing protests against the disappearance of billions of dollars of Petro-Caribe funds under the administration of Moise's predecessor, Michel Martelly, and their PHTK party. And 2 weeks ago, armed gangs led by an ex-policeman called Barbecue blatantly demonstrated openly in the capital with their arms against the government and the bourgeois families who control Haiti's economy. It is reported and it has been claimed that those gangs which have been terrorizing the country, particularly Port-au-Prince, were in fact being supported by some of those families and the government itself.
Huntley says the assassinated president's conduct in office, significantly his refusal to call elections, contributed to the chaos.
But Moise himself was largely responsible for the state of affairs. He had been ruling by decree from 2019 because parliamentary elections had not been organized from that time, as they should have been in 2019. He had insisted that although elected in 2016, his 5-year mandate ends in 2022 and not 2021 because he took office in 2017. This was disputed by scores of opposition groups and the constitutional experts who have been protesting against this move by Moise. But Moise had the backing of the US and the OAS and was holding on to power. Then there was his insistence of holding a referendum to change the constitution, which can be deemed to be illegal as the constitution does not allow for changes to be made by a referendum. Moise was accused by some of trying to become a dictator. At the same time, the opposition was insisting that the conditions were not right for elections in September, which Moise wanted to organize.
The finger pointing on who could have orchestrated the assassination of Haiti's president began by daylight Wednesday, with the list of suspects as varied as it is controversial.
So who could have been behind this assassination? There are many theories. Could it be some of the big bourgeois families whom he had alienated? Could it be members of his own party who were not happy with the direction in which he was going, which he thought was self-serving and not in the interest of the party, which would have damaged the party's chances in elections? Could it be opposition forces or even the drug dealers, as some are now suggesting? The circumstances of the assassination, where only Moise and his wife were attacked, are very mysterious. It is a measure of his unpopularity that there's not much mourning in Haiti for him. But Haiti is now in a dire constitutional crisis. No president, no parliament except for 10 senators, a prime minister appointed by the president on Monday, but seen as illegitimate by the opposition because they regarded the president as illegitimate. Haiti needs the help of its CARICOM family now more than ever, who up to a heads of government meeting on Monday had failed to come up with any real proposition for this crisis in a member state.
The assassination of President Jovenel Moïse marks another twist in the tortured history of this troubled Caribbean nation. Saint Lucia for the HTS News Force.